Picture this. Are you ready? I'm so ready. I want to tell you about the books that I have read, the Picture This books for the Picture This Readathon, which is created by Shelley Swearingen at Shelley Swearingen's Library and Jack at Spread Book Joy. Stay tuned. So hey everybody, welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. I'm Miss Thomas. Welcome, welcome. And I am really excited to talk about some books, first from my childhood, then from my oldest son's childhood, and then from my youngest son's childhood. So if you're new here and you like to talk about books, then please subscribe. I love to talk about books. And if you're old or a returning person, then welcome back. I'm old. That's why I say that. I consider myself old and I'm proud of it. All right, so let me tell you how old I am. This is a book from my childhood. What Do You Say, Dear? By Maurice. Well, it's not by Maurice Sendak, but it's illustrated by Maurice Sendak. It's actually written by Cecily Jocelyn with pictures by Maurice Sendak. But is that very 70s or what? And you can tell, I don't know if I should try and take a Mr. Clean eraser to it or something. It's definitely received much love. And I love this on the back. I think it was probably stacked this way on a bookshelf and the sun must have hit it here. So I have had this book for my whole life. And it's got all kinds of fun little scenarios. It's a book on etiquette. It says, a handbook of etiquette for young ladies and gentlemen to be used as a guide for everyday social behavior. And so the book has all these different scenarios where it, something or other happens. And what do you say, dear? And the reason I choose it for the Picture This, I'm going today with the prompt of home. And in this case, an airline pilot crashes his airplane into your home. What do you say, dear? And of course, we all know that if you crash an airplane into someone's home, you say, I'm sorry. Oh, the power of saying I'm sorry, especially if you crash your airplane into someone's home. What do you say, dear? So that was my favorite book as a little girl. And if you would like me to read the whole book in a separate video, put that in the comments and I'll do that for a separate video. I think that could be fun. Next, this is a rather odd book. My oldest son, he's going to graduate from college this year, but this is a book from when he was little, I think kindergarten, because it's Scholastic. So he must have bought it from his kindergarten book fair. It's a little weird, but the worm and his home, and it has all these odd pictures of the little worm. Here he is making the macaroni art. You know how you make the macaroni art when you were little. And we brought it home and we ate it for dinner, he says. And he's talking about how proud he is to share his macaroni with his little worm family. And talks about his friendship with Spider. He's got this spider friend. Spider can outrun him because Spider has so many legs and the little worm doesn't have so many legs. But the little worm can make Spider laugh. So that's his special gift. I made Spider laugh so hard he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? It's a really cute little book about the worm. Diary of a Worm. So that's a Picture This book from my oldest son's childhood. And the pictures are pretty funny. Like there's Secret Service worms. When I grow up, I want to be a Secret Service agent, Spider says. I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. So it's just a sweet little book with all the different little worm scenarios. But I thought it was a little odd too. And you can imagine not all of the children care for the worm either. So Diary of a Worm, that's one book That's from my oldest son's childhood. And then I'm partial to this one. I have to tell you, I love the David books. And I asked my youngest son, I said, do you still have the books from your childhood? And he said, no. And I went through his closet and his bookshelf. And sure enough, in the very back of his bookshelf, I did find No, David by David Shannon. And I'm sure I would have never thrown this away. And if he was going to throw this away, I would have said, no, we keep this. I love this No David book. So David, I mean, isn't he just adorable? You can tell from looking at him that he gets into a lot of trouble. And David just always seems to make the wrong choice. And his mom's always telling him no, or be quiet, or whatever. And so here's David reaching for the cookie jar, and of course, no, David. And then David comes in the house and tracks mud all over the beautiful white carpet. No, David. And he just does all these things. David, be quiet, you know. And I love this book because you don't really even need to be able to read to get the gist. You can tell from the pictures. David's making noise with pots and pans. And here's David playing with his food. But, you know, David, as always, don't do this. No, no, no. But then at the very end, no matter what happens, David, come here. Yes, David, I love you. And so this was one that, you know, I love to read to my youngest son because he was quite a handful. He still is. But I will love my children no matter what. And I want them to get that from me, if nothing else, that, you know, they may hear a lot of negative things in this world, but the most important thing I want them to hear is that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, I love them. So No, David is a special part of my youngest son's childhood. So there you have it. Those are 3 books that I associate with home. And this one is from my childhood. What do you say, dear? This one's from my oldest son's childhood, Diary of a Worm. And this one is from my youngest son's childhood, No, David. Thanks so much to Shelley Swearingen at Shelley Swearingen's Library and Jack at Spread Book Joy for creating this readathon. It's so important. It's really, it's wonderful fun to read picture books, but it's also so important to read to younger people. So I wanted to make sure that I did a video, and I'm hoping to have another one out as well this month. So thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.